Now, I'm not necessarily one to prophesize doom and gloom, but I've seen more apt front rows than this. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brian the Blank, and this is the RUST-OLEUM Camaro Series, Race 7. Jim Carranza's not doing great for being the reigning champion. John Tucker is at the bottom of the standings. In fact, let me bring those up for you. Here we go. So, as you can see, Daniel Bardens is currently the points leader by a lot. Daniel Bardens has not finished outside the top 10 at any point this season. Isaac Hernandez has a first place, a second place, 2 11ths, and 2 12ths. That's how varied the season is. Will Bardens have another bad race like he did in Firebirds, or will he end up winning this, even though he's starting dead last? Oh boy. Let's change our focus on this. Our winner last season, excuse me, I keep saying year and I know better. Our pole sitter was Jacob Aronson. We all know that Jacob isn't going to do anything. So instead we had Jim Carranza when qualifying. Oh boy. I apologize. I used to be better at preparing this stuff, and it seems like I've lost my mind. "60 laps as opposed to the 40 last time. There's your points leader. And there's your points tail. Who was in charge of this draw? Now, that said, there is potential here. But they've got to get past these two up front. Dorothy McLean, still a fighting chance. Charles Marshall, we know that they've had races where they've shown up. Not many, but some. Isaac Hernandez won a race. Nicholas Eckert has been a notable force. Is 5th in points right now. Yes, had 125th, 121st, and 115th, but other than that, 4 top 5s. That's good. That's very good. That's on par with Isaac Hernandez last season. Lynn White. He just won the Firebird race. Why not win it again? Minnie Nelson. There's plenty of winners up here. John Lane. Sure, why not? Let's throw everything into the works. Of course, our race winner from last Camaro race winner, Gerard Wilkinson, starting near the back. And then Mr. Watkins Glen, James Wolfe, starting about mid-pack.
Drivers, start your engines!
I'm interested in what the 3 and the 4 back there will do. But for now, we roll. And the entire field rolls. See Jim Carranza with that gold bow tie, our reigning champion. The 13 with the silver. And you'll see the 19 here has the bronze. More likely than not, those will be on 3 different cars this season. One of those 3 may not make it to season 3. Which floors me. John Tucker may not make it to season 3, which floors me. The way Jim Carranza is in control and leaves everybody for dead. Wow. John Tucker, once he shakes the cobwebs up, is in second and actually pulls up with some speed. Maybe Tucker's listening. Maybe he pays attention to the standings and knows that he's dead last. And Tucker is a house driver, which means that to reinitiate the rule, whoever of the house drivers finishes dead last in the season will be fired from the series they finished dead last in. As of right now, Tucker is the prime person to be fired, followed by Gardens, Aronson, Carranza, and Howell. 2 champions. Top 4 all tied in pretty quick. Top 7 all under a blanket. And back here we're 2 wide. People are coming, people are going. There's the 3. From 21st up to 15th already, but behind Harris. And that's a bit of a double-edged sword. Harris has obviously got some speed, but being on the inside has its limits. Unless Lynn White just gets completely loose like that. And Barden's working on the inside, trying to make some time. Meanwhile, up at the front, Jim Carranza seems to be getting away. 5 laps in, almost 3/4 of a second lead. John Tucker in second. Charles Marshall in third. Isaac Hernandez up to 4th. Dorothy McLean fighting with them for 5th. Charles Marshall gets on the anchors. And Hernandez smells blood. Hernandez started 5th. McLean started 3rd. Is that right? With Marshall. Okay, yeah. 13, 14, 15. They all started right there together. So the top 5 have actually stayed pretty consistent through the race already. James Wolfe just took a hella outside line and is going to lose a lot of spots because of it. Almost gets contact from Nelson. They'll have momentum on the straightaways, but he's basically surrendered all the turns for now. Unless Nelson allows him to get... Nope, that little bubble in between 3 and 4, and that cost him again. Now they are fighting for 8th. 9th. 8th, yes. Nelson's 8th. Wolfe was 9th. Gardens will move up. And now Wolfe will be 10th with Harris 11th. Lane in 12th. And Harvey up to 13th. Trying to stay on that bottom line with all the momentum. Seems like if he gets hemmed in at all, his speed is negated. Cedric Black, Lynn White. Filling out your top 15. Daniel Barden's points leader, not having a good day. Thomas Hammond, 17th. Then you got Hal, Wilkinson, Pittman, forcing Wilkinson high. Aronson, Eckert dead last. Tucker has caught up with Carranza. And Carranza speeds away from Tucker. Oh, you got me? Well, come get me again. We are already 12 laps in. 1/5 of the way through. Charles Marshall looking to challenge for second. Doesn't get it this time. Hernandez has pressure from McLean. And Wayne Stadler. With John Walker getting awful close to that wall. Nelson and Gardens working around each other. Wolf and Harris, and then Lane and Harvey. Bardens has finally moved up to see this front pack with Lynn White in tow. But White moves him up, and he's going to fall back again. There he goes. Make that Lynn White 14th. Meanwhile, John Lane is back to 13th. Chris Harvey's up to 12th. And he's looking to catch Catherine Harris. Minnie Nelson and Tyler Gardens are catching up with this little group here. Meanwhile, at the same time, Dorothy McLean says, alright, I'm going. Because second, third, and fourth are all hooked together. Hernandez backs off. So now it's just Marshall and Tucker for right now. There's a joke there somewhere. '16 does not have one of the top 10 fastest laps. 14th. But when you're in the lead, you don't need it. Sound like they're having to manage their tires a little bit, though. Now we've got Marshall and Hernandez with McLean in tow. Oh, Hernandez looking low, but I don't think he's going to get it. Plus, I think I saw some damage on the 13. No, just some poor eyesight on my part. However, they're going to lose that position to Dorothy McLean. As long as Dorothy can get out of the turn. May not happen this lap. And Hernandez is able to cut her off. As of right now, Jim Carranza is running away with this. 20 laps in, so let's do a rundown. Jim Carranza is your leader by a second and a half. Rookie John Tucker is in second, followed by Charles Marshall. Isaac Hernandez and Dorothy McLean are battling for fourth. Wayne Stadler is currently sixth, looking to get in on this, but he keeps on hitting the brakes. John Walker in seventh, Minnie Nelson in eighth, Tyler Gardens in ninth, Catherine Harris still in 10th. Up to 11th, however, is Chris Harvey with the ever-streaky James Wolfe, in 12th. We'll see how long this lasts. Lynn White, 13th. John Lane, 14th. Cedric Black, 15th. John Hammond, 16th. current points leader, Daniel Barden's in 17th, although this is a race that they can give up and still lead the points pretty easily. Davis Pittman in 18th. Gerard Wilkinson, last week's surprise winner, in 19th. Well, make that Wilkinson 18th, Eckert 19th, Pittman 20th, Tracy Howell 21st, and Jacob Aronson, the tail of the field, in 22nd. Back up front, no difference to the leader, except for who's second. Charles Marshall has taken that and is looking to munch on some of that time. Let's see if they can. John Tucker's trying to hold on to third. Basically, Tucker has to hold on because if he does not have the natural, he doesn't seem to have the natural talent to keep the speed in the positions. If he wants to save his potential career in this series, he's going to have to fight for third, and if he can't hold him off anymore, then he's going to have to fight for the next position. He's going to have to be a thorn in everyone's side until the end of this race. However, while Tucker is barely catching Carranza, Marshall is well and truly catching him. Hernandez currently 4th still, McLean in 5th. Tyler Gardens has decided to do something today. Which is apt, because he only decided to do something twice this season in this series. Now, granted, I do believe one race he did have an accident. But that's still 3 races where you're just like, where's the one? Gap is back up to a 2.5. Tucker has stabilized in 3rd. But is not catching Charles Marshall. Is definitely not catching Jim Carranza. He has the draft to help him, and he might get a little bit of time, but it's hard to tell. No, it's just Jim Carranza running the hell away. Can Tucker get back by and takes it? Yes, he can. Convincingly. Now, we did start having issues with cars in the Firebird series. Apparently, there was some issues with tires and fuel. We know that the 13 went out with the fuel injector, failed fuel injector, which did bring out the caution and gave us a 1-lap shootout to the finish. And Lynn White, the luckiest win of their life. I think 23 might actually be catching them. Well, something happened to the 23, and he did not get off the turn 4 well. That's just one of these things with these cars and these drivers is sometimes they just completely botch it. So, as we come to lap 35, let's do another rundown. Jim Carranza, your leader. John Tucker in 2nd, followed by Charles Marshall. Isaac Hernandez in 4th. Dorothy McLean in 5th. John Walker in 6th. We have a challenge for 2nd. Again, Charles Marshall looking to the inside of John Tucker. And a further challenge, Tucker is out of position and may lose fourth to Isaac Hernandez. Third to Isaac Hernandez. He keeps it booted into one and is able to hold the momentum, but Isaac Hernandez had to hit the brakes. This may be a bit of a stack up. Second place is 3 seconds away. Everyone else is 4 1/4. This race, this is one of those races where you have to find the race. And part of this race is John Tucker racing for their career already. Isaac Hernandez looking to take the spot, wanting to take the lead. Dorothy McLean trying to reclaim lost ground over the season. John Walker just hoping to see what victory lane looks like again. Wayne Stadler not far from it. Minnie Nelson's looking to advance their position. Tyler Gardens looking to stop the butt of jokes. Chris Harvey saying, hey, I won one. I can beat all these guys and beat them again and do it again. Catherine Harris back to 11th. Again, not a great season for Miss Harris. James Wolfe, well, we figured this would happen. Back to 12th. Lynn White 13th. Cedric Black 14th. 15th. Thomas Hammond 16th. Gerard Wilkinson 17th. John Lane 18th. Davis Pittman 19th. The points leader. Daniel Bardens just does not like Dover, apparently. Nicholas Eckert and 20th? Yes. Sorry, lost my place there. Tracy Allen 21st. Jacob Aronson looks like they may have bumped the wall and have some damage, but they're in the back. It doesn't really matter at this point. 16 is still running away with it. Perhaps this has been a game for Carranza all season, and he's trying to see trying to see if they can turn it on at the right time, let's say. Which is a dangerous game to play, but it can be played. $20 laps to go. Less than 20 laps to go. Not many changes in the running order. Tyler Gardens moves up past Nelson. Catherine Harris is trying to get to the 3. But I'm not sure they have much more time to try. An average of 145 miles an hour for the race. Jim Carranza has not put a foot wrong most of this event. That speed is coming down, though, as the tires wear. The 15 is slowly catching up. Tucker is trying to hold their position, trying to keep as clean as they can. They've been able to hold off Hernandez so far. McLean is wanting more positions, but I don't know if they're going to get any more. And then we have the accordion back here. John Walker, Wayne Stadler, Tyler Gardens, Minnie Nelson. With Chris Harvey looking to take advantage of all of them. Catherine Harris behind him with Lynn White and Cedric Black. And the off-on switch that is James Wolfe. Thomas Hammond, just not a great season. Gerard Wilkinson, the surprise win last week. Dominating win, by the way. Davis Pittman, the rookie, just trying. John Lane trying to keep their entire career going because they only run Camaros now. Nicholas Eckert has had a good season, but doesn't seem to be holding together here at Dover. And Jacob Aronson is ahead of Daniel Bardens and Tracy Howell. How the... Whatever. Just when I think I can expect it, something changes. 12 laps to go. And Isaac Hernandez has finally gotten past the 23 of John Tucker. And it looks like it was coming out of turn 4 that time by. Just a little bit high for Tucker. Had to get on the brakes. A top 4 will still go a long way for their championship, or for their career hopes. Just like that second place did for their Firebird points, a 4th place, or even a 5th place, will do wonders for their point standings. But McLean wants that spot. I think all these drivers, though, have about worn out their equipment. McLean's trying, but Tucker's doing what he's been told to do. Hold his line and keep his marks. McLean can go up there and push him if they want to. But they're not doing anything wrong right now. Wayne Stadler currently 6th. John Walker is in 7th, but just hit the anchors. Tyler Gardens in 8th. Minnie Nelson in 9th. Catherine Harris in 10th. Chris Harvey in 11th. Harris finally gets by, but Harvey's right behind again. And that 19 seems to be having some issues. I expect the number of people to go out to force them high. And John Walker falls out of the top 10. Meanwhile, Wayne Stadler, both the 14 and the 21 get on the brakes. And Wayne Stadler takes 5th away from Dorothy McLean with 6 laps to go. Catherine Harris all of a sudden has, one after another, been able to take positions. Everyone seems to have gone through the limbo line. Now nobody seems to know where to go because no one can keep on the throttle anymore. Nelson had to go high. Harris tried to go low. No one can stay on the gas. And the people who have to suffer for it mainly is Chris Harvey and John Walker. Look at this move by Cedric Black. And he's going to make it work too. Harvey with the short end of the stick in this race. Has the speed, but cannot seem to get any help. Because everyone else is just brake checking constantly. And by the time he gets to them, they're back on the throttle. There's Harris going into the distance. Hits the wall. Chris Harvey getting the push from the 9. Harris has damage. They've only got 2 laps to go, though. Wait a second. What the... What? Jim Carranza pitted from the lead. There's no caution. The 6 is on pit road. Charles Marshall's going to win this race. What just happened? We'll do the running order later. You've got to be kidding me. Two laps to go. They avoid... The camera didn't pan down enough. I didn't see it. That was right as Harris was hitting the wall. That might have been why they went high to try and avoid it. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. And that's it. They did not... I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. Race is done. And they just... Three laps down. Wow. Was not expecting that at all. So, yeah. You can't see it right now, but I'm shrugging and I'm trying to figure out where the rest of my head went. If you'd like to join in on this madness, there's a link to the Discord below in the description. Congratulations to Charles Marshall. Let's do the rundown. Charles Marshall in first, Isaac Hernandez second. John Tucker holds on for third. Dorothy McLean fourth. Wayne Stadler fifth. Tyler Garden sixth. Catherine Harris seventh. Minnie Nelson eighth. Cedric Black ninth. Chris Harvey happens to fall into a top 10 place with that. Lynn White 11th. John Walker 12th. James Wolfe 13th. Thomas Hammond 14th. Then Wilkinson, Pittman, Lane, Eckert, Bardens, Aronson, Howell, and Jim Carranza 3 laps down, blowing up from the lead. Camaros, everybody. Yeah, have a great evening, day, trip to space, trip in general. Whatever you're doing, however you're enjoying this, please enjoy it. And, yeah, until next time, I'm Brian the Blank, and that name is very appropriate right now. Goodbye, everybody.